Listen. Yeah. Yes, God. Oh. Get that out of there.
Wow. You want a breakdown today of this week's episode of The Traitors? Well, you most certainly are going to get it from me because what? We had one job that was almost completed, that was almost done. Everything was perfect. It was lined up perfectly. We were right there. And when I tell you paranoia is unfortunately the culprit in this situation, as well as just emotional gameplay that was out of control. I was just sitting there like, what in the world is going on here on this good, God blessed Sunday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? No, please come here. We are watching the same show. It is shenanigans. It is foolery. It is the tuckery. I can't swear just yet of it all. I'm tired. If you have not seen my reaction on Patreon, it is enough. It is enough. I was there like, yo, this ain't real. This cannot be reality. This cannot be life. This cannot be anything. But it is entertaining as hell. The Traitors on Peacock. I'm sorry, y'all. As frustrated as I can be when gameplay isn't done the way I wanted to, I am sitting there like, please get me to the next episode. How dare you make me wait a week? I need to see what's going to happen because the decisions, the way they leave it off, I'm like, what else can go wrong here? Are they just going to give Boston Rob the game? I have to break down so much. And I'm glad that Wes left the way that he did today. Forgive me for breaking that down and sort of spilling that. If you haven't seen the episode yet, you sort of like to watch the reviews and go through the story. No, we'll go down how it went down because he ultimately shot himself in the foot. He did. I'm so mad at him for doing what he did because I'm like, you didn't have to do much. You could have, and you opened your mouth towards the end of that whole moment. Like, honestly, and I was mad when he did it because I was like, okay, you just did a West move. And that's a West move where you always are got, but you weren't got. And that's the problem. You almost played into the women now questioning you and doing all that kind of, I was really disappointed. I was like, okay, how dare they? But Derek, you got work to do. I have never sided with the police so hard in my life. Do you understand me? I have never sided with the popo like I have on this show. Derek, you got a job to do. And they say back the blue. This may be the day I do it, brother. Because when I tell you, I was like, what do we got to do? What do we got to do to help Derek? Because Brittany's not going to do it. Brittany's going to be a dum-dum. And I know people are fans of Brittany from Big Brother, but oh, Brittany, you old bobble-headed, empty wagon, nothing's in there. They're like, she clocked in to be a resource for the Traitors since she don't know what the hell's going on. Make that 6. You did not eat that as much as you did. You kind of did. But you didn't eat it as much as I wanted you to because you were wrong. Let's talk about this week's episode. My name is Matty-Rants. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share, and subscribe, and become a part of this Rant Pack family. For those of you who know, I cover reality TV shows and sometimes scripted series on this channel. So if you'd like to step into this world, it's a little chaotic. It's a lot of lives, though, too. So these are long winded conversations. I'm the guy that you listen to while you're at the laundromat or washing clothes or folding clothes. Why are we still talking about clothes? Or doing other things of that matter? Hold on just a tid. Okay, sorry, that was Bleecker. I was like, I'm gonna call you right back. But yeah, tune on in, have a good time. We're here for the lives. We like to keep it civil in the chat and be respectful for each other. So this is supposed to be a safe space, especially because of things going on currently right now in this world. So this is supposed to be a safe space. I'm promising for the next 4 years, especially, or as long as I have this platform, the next 4 years, especially, that we're gonna do a better job. I especially with us just having fun, talking about TV, talking about like hot topics, but not going into the darkness and into the zone, if you will. So let's do that. Let's keep it cute. Let's try to stay on topic too, because I have a hard time doing that as well. But I'm here to have fun with you today. A lot has been going on. It's been a crazy, crazy world out there, unfortunately. And we did talk about some things that did happen, so I don't want to bring it back up. But again, for those of you who may have been affected by that plane crash that happened, or for those of you who are currently feeling emotions in reference for that, I send my love to you, and to those that unfortunately are no longer with us. That was really, really jacked up, and it was just a lot of stuff going on right now in the world. So I'm just sending nothing but joy to all of y'all. I don't care where you're at in the world right now. This past week has been about meditation for me. It's been about growth. It's been about like, okay, Maddie, what are you trying to do? So I have been spending a lot of time setting up the next 4 months, 5 months of my life, if you will. I've been doing that this week. That's why I haven't got the Discord together or done the memberships just yet, because a lot of good things did happen for me this week, including I finally got my title to the car. 3 months. I thought it was 2, but I had to look at my messages. 3 months it took to get the title to that car that's been sitting out there. 3 months. And they finally got it. So I can sell that car and I can trade it in and I can get a vehicle and I can get a job, or I can actually drive somewhere, 1, 2. And also, it's just going to make my life a lot better. So the good stuff is happening. I'm seeing it in front of me. I'm just like, you know what? Take a beat. You know what I'm saying? Take a beat and recognize what's in front of you. And let's not what's the word I'm looking for here? Take advantage of a blessing and not take it for granted. There we go. And start to just move forward here with what you're trying to do in your life. So there's a lot I'm going to be doing in the background. Please forgive me, but I'm more than likely going to be dedicating weekends to doing videos versus weekdays. Weekdays I'm more than likely going to be busy. Coming up, again, Maddie's planning his life. My lease ends here in October. I've already started the process of finding a new place for me and my babies, as well as I have a vacation coming up in Mexico that I'm dying to go. I've never been. It's my first international anything in my life, so it's a little transparent, but it's the truth. I don't count Jamaica because it's a part of the province and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just trying to do a better me for my life coming forward. So I'm very excited. Well, part of our yes, I'll be in Mexico, and it'll be around my mom's birthday. So I will be down there instead of sad at home. I will be somewhere beautiful, and I'm gonna do something special for my mom while I'm out there. So yay, I'm excited. But just a lot of my life, I want to exude that energy as well as still have fun, be shady, and do all that other good stuff. But I'm going to be a lot more cognizant going forward on this channel. So now if you in here just being a meanie, that's different. I'm gonna have to clock you in, and my of course my moderators will jump on in here. But other than that, we're here to have fun, and I want it all to just be transferable energy, because we all need it right now. Trust me, I don't have the time to be arguing with girls no more about nothing. Okay. Real quick, too, as a reminder, tomorrow we will be discussing season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we'll be doing a live 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. It's not going to be as late as it was last time. It'll be a little bit earlier. I saw the editing mistake for the preview. glad that was in the preview and it wasn't for the actual final product. But if it's still in the final product, ooh, I'm gonna be gagged. I'm gonna be gagged. But I was like, oh, y'all took it down. And mind you, I don't watch the previews. I had to go through Drag Tea with Matt, shout out to him, to see it because I don't like to be spoiled. And my friend Dawn sent me the little clip, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So I don't know going forward if that's something that we may just need to be like looking out for, or if they're now scrambling to make sure that every edit they have for previews, there's not a mess up, because that little page flip you can see in the reflection over the shot with the voiceover, gag. I was like, oh, that's not a good edit. That's very this shows the misleadment of the moment of the word being said and it not being the reaction that was I said, okay, be careful, because the girls do digging. It's Drag Race. That's what we're here for. We're here to figure everything out. But we'll talk about that, of course, tomorrow, Saturday. So all my links are in the About section. We'll get more into those later. I did do a reaction to this episode, and yes, I had a great time. For those of you who saw my reaction on Patreon, this episode took me through. That round table was so much. I kept being like, yes, no, yes. Okay, why are you jumping in here? Carolyn, shut the I'm so sorry. I know everybody is team Batty, but like, why? Carolyn, there was an argument for just Rob and West in this moment. Like, you needed to be quiet. Like, I don't know why. And then you low-key did a burn vote. Oh, I'm gonna talk about the burn votes. Those are the people who I'm mad at the most. The burn votes at that table. Yo, it was too close. There were too many burn votes. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Just as a reminder. This program is for entertainment purposes only, and content is not intended to belie any religion, race, gender, company, individual, or wigs. And all opinions expressed by Matty-Rants and program participants are personal views and do not reflect the opinions of every human being on the planet, and no hate should be sent to any of the individuals mentioned on this program. So don't be rude. Grab your libations and strap in, because Matty is a talker and may be here for a while. Please don't post any spoilers in the chat. And if you feel uncomfortable after viewing this program, consume some Matty-Rants and have yourself a good, gassy boot. Do that. Do it like you do it to me. Burn it up. You know what? No shade. I'm a little mad at myself for not. I guess I've been trying to stay away from Twitter because it is, on fire, allegedly. But I kind of wish I waited a little bit for that rant report the other day, because that tea baby from the movie I told Amelia Perez, that movie is so bad, and I don't care what anybody says. That movie was awful film, terrible movie. But then some tweets had resurfaced from the lead actress, Miss Sophia, the trans lead actress, and there were some really jacked up messages. Mama is everything and then some. Racist. The phobias are all over. You just go down the line. I could not believe I was reading. I was like, oh, it's over for you and for this little movie. No shade. It's over. Like, whatever Oscar run y'all have, it's a wrap. Like, they'll be nominated, but I'm telling you, they're probably scrambling in the back to change the people who they had in reference, to get certain wins. I'm not even playing with you. And Zoe may be unscathed from this, but like at the same time, Zoe Saldana was a complete blackface as Nina Simone. And people were trying to but apparently people forgot about that. And it's like, shout out to Kayla Says. She was like, I had no idea. I'm like, girl, where were you when this happened? It was a huge deal. Like, again, sometimes things just ain't okay. And it's just not going to be okay. And you can say what you want about it. It's just never going to be okay. But I'm sad that I didn't talk about it in the video the other day. And so this is my way of getting that in by going, ooh, that's terrible. It's terrible. She did issue an apology, but everyone's like, yeah, you been had them tweets. You could have been got rid of all that stuff's been out there. You didn't even bother to go back and do any research on the stuff that you've been talking about. I was like, her manager don't like her. I'm just gonna say that her PR team and her management, she probably has none and should have had some. No, they don't like her. It was like, let her fry, bitch. Okay. Anywho, the movie was bad. It's on Netflix if you did want to watch it and give it a go. You're gonna see a sex change operation song happen, and it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. And my same issue with Blink Twice about not having a resolution that really was satisfactory to the entire audience over what the scenario and theme was, I fall in the same line with Amelia Perez by them doing this BS ending with like them praising this person who like actually like took out so many people and was trying to make amends for it. But it was like, yeah, but those people were still like, we're not doing this today. Like, it's like, oh, we wash you of your all of the sins with that. Oh, it is wild. Anywho, let me stop talking about it. Let me stop talking about it. Let's talk about the show. If you did want to drop into people in my jar, please and thank you. It's paypal.me/MattyRants, cash up .MattyRants, and Venmo MattyRants. I want to give a shout out to JMCL here. What you sent today, honestly, is a blessing, and I almost lost my breath when I saw this come in here. So I appreciate you so very much for this generous tippy poo today. It definitely is beyond helpful. So for help while you're job hunting, because baby, there's just some good things coming along and I'm just really hyped. So thank you, JMCL. This is extremely helpful, especially for this last push for this month. February is gonna be great. I've seen my analytics going into February and how it would track into March, April, and May. I'm gonna be all right over here on YouTube. That's gonna give me enough time to get everything I need to get done. And I'm not gonna take advantage of it this time. I'm not gonna be like, okay, Matt, you don't know what to do. I feel like in the winter season, you'll notice me working more. I have a new plan of action for how everything's about to go down. And I'm excited for my next couple of months because I just need to stick to the paper. Like my therapist said, write it down, put it on paper. It matters. It means more than you just saying it out loud. You got to write it down too, baby. You got to put that thing on paper. And sure enough, I have my list of things I got to handle each and every month, things I can move over, things within a 5-month plan. I think I got it. So I haven't been this excited about my life in a while, but it's the truth. I'm just ready for the next chapter of Matty-Rants. Anyway, whatever. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Are you ready to get on with the show? I know you are. I've been talking for 18 minutes. Who is this punk? Most of the time, all the times. Oh my God. Well, also, I can get my point of view out in 40 minutes, to be honest with you, because I did say I wanted to talk for an hour or so, and I think we got it from here. Bitch. Shall we begin? First of all, Carolyn, you have every right to be mad at Danielle and whatever freestyling happened with her hands. It looked like somebody was going through stigmata while they were doing her hair. Regardless of all of that, you have every right to be pissed off because it's like, bitch, why are you saying my name in here? And we're supposed to be like working as traitors together. I've never once thrown you under the bus. Why me now? Why are we doing this? What sense does that make at all? And yes, you can sit there and look like, like E.T. sitting there in full stillness, trying not to get caught by D. Wallace. You can do all of that, Danielle. That's fine. But you do have something that you need to do, and that is going around everybody and trying to clear the air on behalf of Carolyn. I'm going to tell you, though, you're going to look a little suspicious doing that anyway. So while Carolyn's like, you need to make amends for this, I need her to understand that Danielle then running around this episode going, actually, I don't think it's Carolyn anymore, is weird because they made the same argument for Bob, pointing out somebody, but then flipping it on someone else. So what are you actually asking for? If it's an apology here, Carolyn, you got it. You should have moved on from it. And you also should have realized that the people talking to you this day on this episode coming up are talking about yesterday and not today. It's almost as if Carolyn received the information like, oh, you talking about me today. No. She's talking about you the other day. This is why you got her together now. So why are you doing what she just did? I could not clock into her. I was like, you are an emotional player, and I love her now. I want Carolyn to do very well in this show, but this week was not her finest work. It was not. She played way too emotional. and very paranoid. And I was like, Danielle wasn't even gonna Danielle, I was proud of you at this table. Now I'm gonna talk about you, girl. Now, this week, you actually did what you were supposed to do in terms of lay low, do not do too much. Even when Boston Rob was sitting there with Chriselle, and Chriselle's old messy dumbass was like, she's an idiot. And Boston Rob asked her, have you heard anything? I've heard Wes's name. She could have said Rob too, made him even more aware of what was going on. No, she clocked in finally this episode, but she's done so much damage. What are we going to do? That's my problem with Dan over here. You've done way too much damage. Way too much damage. You've done so much damage. So it's like, as much as I'm so happy you're clocked in now, I'm like, ugh. And then you voted for Carolyn. I know it was emotional. I know we was doing it, but the way, if you had just voted for that man and they tied, oh my God, that's all you had to do. All you had to do was let go of that emotion at that table. Carolyn, I was so mad at her, but I was like, I get it, but no one is running with you and Danielle arguing at this table as the ultimate be-all argument to send Danielle home. You are literally just voting off of emotion, and you're ready to just send her home. And that's it. And so I'm mad at Carolyn right now because her main focus has become Danielle. Danielle's now playing a game of like, how am I going to be able to get Boston Rob out while also like dodging Carolyn, who has a thing for me. But at the same time, if she wants to come for me, I'll come for her back. What? And then Boston Rob's like, I was just trying to get you bitches to work together. And now I got to sit over here and just do everything I want to do. But in reality, Boston Rob, let me explain something to you. You were never here to protect those two. Never. You were never here to protect them. I don't believe you. You want to know why I know that you weren't here to protect them? Because you said both of their names before even Carolyn had a chance to go after Danielle. You said both of their names getting to Wes. I was floored. Danielle's name was never said. Boom. Carolyn's name was not said. Boom. We are talking about Tom, dumbass Sandoval. And then we got Derek talking about and then we got Derek talking about Boston Rob. Wes didn't even get to speak yet. Rob made his whole case and then pointed to Wes, and then Wes had to respond. It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, Wes, how dare you let Derek be the beginning of the argument? You didn't even get to jump in and say your second pause. You let him defend himself. What is wrong with you people? To beat Rob, you must control the board. You give him too much. Explain yourself. Fuck that. Lay it down and then continue laying it down. And then you make him have to explain. You don't give him, hey, tell yourself. No, you make him go, can I speak, please? Because I feel like you need to make that man have to fight to have a conversation, because once you see him sweat, that's how you get him. And I hate that I'm not clocking in. I'm so sorry. I've gotten to the round table early, but like I'm still so angry with how that went down. Ivor and Sam are puss. Sam, you just said you were coming for him today. What happened, Barrett? What happened, hairband? What happened, Brittany reference? What happened? Ivor, I think you like Rob, and that's low-key why you don't want to get rid of him, because you enjoy looking at the tan, octagon-shaped looking motherfucker. I think that's the reasons why this is happening here. Everyone's playing a personal bullshitty-ass game, and I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad watching this because they're not clocking out to then clock in. They're doing this full like, why would you say that about me? And why would you? It's like, girl, what? Huh? Are you not listening? Man, I'd love to be on a game like this. The way, see, they'd have to get me at night. I would need to be shielded at all times if I'm a faithful, because you cannot sit at that table and start to change narratives up the way that you do. And the same thing he did to Bob, the drag queen, is the same thing he did to Wes today. Is no one realizing that? His full speech went into naming other names and bringing up other positions and then pulling out all of these things to then go, it's you. You are the one. And then what does he do? He sits back on it, lets the person explain himself, and waits for somebody else to then come in and go, but you did. And then he's like, haha, I made my argument. What? So this hug and shit right here was whack. I was lame. This was lame to me. I was like, okay, fine, but you actually have to not go against anybody here. And the problem was, and here's the tea. You may hate me. You may hate to say this as you Danielle haters out there. Carolyn was the one in this moment going forward who was going to have to let shit go. Danielle did dumb to Carolyn and messed that up. It wasn't even for Rob just yet because Carolyn and Danielle are still trying to get Rob out, mind you. But this is where Carolyn messed up, and this is where Danielle was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. 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 But you should have let it go, and you didn't, and you followed it through because what happened was someone brought it up to you later, and you're like, oh, you must mean today. You didn't even get the questions. When did she talk to you about this? Did she talk to you about it yesterday? Did she talk to you about it the day before? You went off of pure it was just anyhow, moving forward. As they come into the room, the three names that were on the list were Ivor, Bob H, and Wes. Ivor came after Boston Rob. Wes has been alleged to come after Boston Rob based off of what he had heard. Bob H also had said something about Boston Rob at the table. Are we not seeing a pattern here? Danielle, Carolyn, Boston Rob, every choice that was presented was strictly for him, not for y'all. Wes was not clocked into Danielle nor Carolyn. Ivor the same, Bob H as well. Is this real? This is real. This can't be life. What is life right now? Derek being the person who I mean, first of all, they were wrong about Gabby. Okay. Was it Gabby? I forget who he was going after. And I was like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? But now the way he has presented the case, I'm like, yo, the detective actually has the argument. And he had the way he laid it down at the round table. Yo, I was proud of Derek. I was like, bitch, that is actually the game plan. That is actually how that went down. That's actually what took place. That's literally what happened. And he told them all the truth and no, couldn't believe it. I was gagged. I was like, yo, this is wild. He literally spelled it out for them. Like, and then, I have to give Derek this much credit too. He keeps referencing Bob the drag queen may be gone, but Bob is literally what his impact on the game is still going on 6 episodes. Are you not hearing me? They're still talking about Roberta. Bob's influence on this game is that deep. If Bob probably would have won this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If Bob actually was clocked in and wasn't emotional at the time, Roberta may have won this game because they were that hyper focused around Bob. And the thing is that Derek actually listened to what Bob said, and it's starting to make sense because he's now locked into let me be quiet and pay attention. And everything Bob said has came true. Everything Bob was like reading back and forth, like you're doing the same thing to me. It's all aligned in. So he's like, Bob laid it out. He basically called him out as a traitor because you tried to get me first. You got me out. Boom. And then, of course, yes, it would be a very Boston Rob thing to do. And it was done. Derek says, if Boston Rob comes in this door, I love how he deduced this. He goes, if he come in that door after everything that just happened and he wasn't murdered last night, and Bob H or Ivor is gone, I was like, ow, clock in, because who else was bringing up the argument? Them two. And then whenever Bob had called it out, like these new people, bam, went out the door. I love Derek. Oh, Rob, I was hoping to see you. Yeah, I'm glad I'm here too, bitch. I was like, okay, I have never rooted for the police this much in my life. I wanted Ivor gone too, because he has no real purpose on the show outside of being British and being a royal no shade. I think he likes Boston Rob, and that's why Ivor is not going for him. He more than likely is attracted to him, and that's why he's not touching him. A tan guy with an accent like that, he probably lives and breathes. He loves let me be quiet. West Side Story is his favorite movie, honey. Let me tell you something. No, I'm let me be quiet. Yeah, Dylan is obsessed with Rob as well, but you could see now Dylan. I actually started liking Dylan this week because I saw Dylan's brain working at the table at the round table, and I knew he wanted to vote for Boston Rob, but this Brittany, Brittany fucked that up, and I think because of how everything that just went down, Brittany has now made herself she's literally put herself in a position to looking like somebody who has now, after being so quiet, talking way too much. One, and two, you blocked what could have been a traitor. Why would you protect Boston Rob? Silly girl. So I think Dylan wants to, because he's like, well, it would make sense. Now that he thinks about it, he's like, well, yeah. And we were so hype about Bob. Like, it's almost like he just used. That's what I feel like is going on in Dylan's mind. Like, that man just used me to get him out so he could just do what he wants to do. And I would I would actually give him some credit. If Dylan figures that out, I will literally take back somewhat a portion, 25, 15% of what I said about him. If he did that, I'd give him some credit. But he's too up his hole right now, so it's going to be really tough to see if Dylan's ever going to see what's going on behind the baseball cap. But Brittany's doing not doing a good job. God damn you, Brittany. Oh, you did Danielle dirty, and you about to do it again. You actually did her. You did it again too. If we're gonna talk about it, why are you talking to Carolyn? If Danielle's supposed to be your girl and y'all supposed to be making amends, and you're telling her, well, she has your name in her mouth. How's that supposed to be your people's? I'm just saying. Who else clocked in that he kicked Bob H out on purpose the way he did so he can keep Ivor around to use as a shield so he can go against Wes? In that why I said, Boston Rob, as much as I don't like you, that was fucking brilliant. And you let Carolyn and Danielle do your work. That man's a genius, and they're not here for it. And Wes and Derek are the only other smart people I see in the room right now that are like, we got you, girl. You're not doing this in front of us. We see what you're doing. He literally kept Ivor, because we don't even like Ivor, but look at him. He was an easy shield. He's such a puss. He's such a punk. He ain't doing nothing over there. He ain't making the right votes. What are you talking about? Not against his man. What you mean? What? Bob H would have came to this table and would be ready to send Rob home. That's the truth. If Bob H was still in the competition, I guarantee you he would not be voting for Wes. I put money on it. He wouldn't have voted for Wes. He would have voted for Boston Rob. So he made the right decision, but he did that purposely to get Wes. He knew those three in general were a little somewhere in there in the lines, and he knew which one he could manipulate more than the other. Boom. I have to give him respect. I gotta give it to him. I'm like, damn, Rob, that was nasty work. It's nasty work, but it was good, and that man's playing many steps ahead. Now Alan comes in the room and tells them they're about to have an explosive challenge, and Tom Sandoval, I got to tell you something. What was the idea of taking this job? Was it for money? Was it to help your character after that abysmal showing for Vanderpump Rules and you not wanting to take any accountability? You kind of did the same thing that you did during that reunion when you were being called out by your ex and everybody else there, where you shrug your shoulders forward and you do this. I'll show you the screenshot. I said, oh my God, Tom has a built-in victimized stance. He has a built-in victim stance. It's wild. I was like, the privilege is beyond with this dude, especially when Dolores burns him to the ground at that round table. Like, he does the whole thing he did with Adrian. I was like, yo, this dude has not changed one bit. And I know you're going through something. It's giving withdrawals, buddy. It's giving withdrawals. It's giving withdrawals, girl. I don't know what's going on, but you are not good television. You are quite easily the biggest fool in there. And Gabby, I'm so happy you said something. Like, the fact that you laughed at him when he was like, I have good ideas. I have some good theories. She just starts giggling like, baby, we know the traitors are keeping you here because you cause chaos, because you're never on. That was hilarious. Everyone just looking at him like, they don't take you seriously. And then it's Tom trying to then talk to Brittany out here. I think it's Dolores. Like, yeah, it's totally Dolores. It's totally Dolores. Like, you're not, hey, listen to me. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, Dolores pisses me off a tad bit, but I also have to give Dolores credit here. Did Dolores vote for Rob? I forget who it was. I think Dolores did vote for Rob, if I'm right. No, something. So here's the thing. I think she did vote for. I forget how do I put Dolores in this last housewife standing. She's doing just fine playing the fence. And she voted for, that's right. She did vote for, that's right, JB. She was one of my burn votes. Thank you for reminding me I have to cuss her out. Thank you for reminding me I have to cuss her out because she is one of the people that pissed me off a little bit. I was like, girl, I know you mad at Tom, but like, that's a burn vote, obviously. Who else is voting for Tom? You just made fun of him and said he was stupid and we moved on. Why would you vote for Tom? I'm going to talk about her. Thank you for reminding me why I was going to go in, but I still like Dolores. She's talking to Rob H. Not Rob H. Bob H. She's talking to Boston Rob, and she's like, I'm just going to vote with what the group is going to do. Definitely keep her around, Boston. Like, Dolores, why would you say that? Like, what do you mean? I'm going to vote with the group? What? And did she vote with the group, everybody? She did not. She did not vote with the group this week. I'm afraid she didn't do it. She did not go with the group. She didn't want it. She didn't want to do it. Wait, okay, Letha, I'm gonna challenge this only because how would she get any blowback if it's Tom Sandoval who you have to remind yourself, Tom has actually no credibility in this game. And he's the only person saying her name. So if Dolores voted for Rob or voted for Wes, what blowback would she have gotten exactly? And I'm not saying that's not a theory to have, but it's like, this is me going, well, how would that actually get her? Though, because no one wants to touch a housewife right now because everybody has seen them go out the way that they've done. Dolores in the house, in general, everyone likes her and she's giving, like, I don't want to say auntie because it's going to be too close to her tan, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think his even bringing her name up, like even Boston Rob was like, whatever. He just used Dolores' name in that moment to give his like West story. You know what I mean? So how about that? But I get what you're saying. It's, let me make a burn vote for Tom. It does also make her look like a faithful too, but it also could make her look like a traitor because she did a burn vote. So I don't know. The fact that Tom is sitting here talking about Dolores to Derek, Wes walks up and Wes is like, hey, can you just give us a minute? I'm sorry, y'all. These little moments I live for because it's like, can the smart people in the room have a conversation? Thank you. We need to talk about how we're going to get out Boston Rob. Do you feel like you got an argument? I feel like I got an argument. Are we just going to have to take the swing now? We just going to take the swing now. We're going to have to take it. And I was very much here for it. Like, okay. But this part confused me because why in God's green earth is Brittany telling Carolyn that Danielle said that, she had her name in your mouth. And then she said that you like voted for me or were like gunning for me. Why is Brittany telling Carolyn all of this information? They don't really even talk like that. Like, we've never, ever, ever seen it. And furthermore, you're supposed to be building a bond with Danielle, Brittany. How is this building a bond with Danielle by then giving all of this information away? This shit was wild. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it caused Carolyn to spiral out because she's thinking, oh my God, she just told her this shit today, when this was really the other day prior to going into the roundtable where Carolyn, no one even said your name to begin with, even though that's what was going on. Like, no one's even still holding that weight because, again, they're all like, yeah, she said your name, but no one's actually believing her. So that's you now perpetuating the, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, Danielle's coming for me. What? This challenge was kind of interesting, but it also, the time limit I thought was ridiculous. 30 minutes to travel across this map that looks very, very wide. Go to all these crates, answer these questions, and basically fill this gunpowder barrel up all the way to the brim so that way they can blow it up. It is a zero-sum game. You either get it or you don't. It is very, did you fill it up? If you didn't, zero money added to the pot. If you did get it, it's $30,000 added to the prize pot. Alan, this outfit is everything, by the way. This outfit's everything. I live for the knot of this tie being in this golden spiked cuff. Oh, it is fabulous. And this jacket is nasty. Notice his jacket is different from when he was in the house. It's the same. Like, get into it. This is Alan always gives me some fashion, darling. But get into this look here, right? And then look at it now. Like, it's like it upgraded or Pokey evolved. Very evolution. I was like, bitch, get it. The sleeves are everything. The sleeves are everything. The color combination is wonderful. I love it so much. But yes, they got to do all this. Now, what does everybody prioritize before anything else? The shield. They need a shield. Oh, yes. We're prioritizing shields, honey. We are, the priority is the shields. Baby, what you want? I love those shields. Before I thought they weren't even going to get the gunpowder back because everybody was like, no, we need to get our shields because we don't get murdered. And I was like, all right. Carolyn grabs the shield. Tom, can I see that? Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? I think it's really selfish of her to take the shield and shit. Tom, no one's getting rid of you. They laughed at you at the table, sweetheart. You're never going to be taken out. Do you not understand that? You weren't ever close to knowing what's going on. Tom, they're going to carry you all the way to the finale and embarrass you, sweetie. If you somehow win, it will be by luck, and it will be by the worst luck possible in a Dungeons and Dragons game. I'm talking about the rolls are low, heifer. I giggle at your presence on this show. I just need you to know that. I'm like, why are you here? You are not looking, nothing about you's looking good, brother, at all. But Carolyn takes the shield, but they're all in agreement to not tell anybody who has it because they don't want the traitors to know who has it. The problem with that is that there is a group that has Danielle and Carolyn in it. And the reason why Carolyn's in that group is because she wants to keep an eye on Danielle. That's T. Because she thinks that Danielle's still talking about her, and she's not. Idiot. Then there's another group that does not have a traitor in it. That's the only group that is really safe with the whole shield bit because the other one had Boston Rob in the group, and he's obviously going to know who's going to take it if it's somebody in that group. Like, come on now, bro. Come on. Come on. They're now doing rock, paper, scissors for that stuff. This is wild. This is wild to me. It's so funny how the men were pouting when the women were getting the shields. It's like, yeah, but a lot... I mean, there's been majority women being removed from the competition. It is about time that they start cutting some of the fat. Either way, they got to get the gunpowder back, and they need to do it within the 30-minute time frame. Carolyn is going around to everybody, majority women, and being like, hey, people are telling me that someone has my name in their mouth. Do you know who that is? Oh, yeah, girl. They do. Mind you, Gabby has known that, like, they very much have her name, but it's not a conversation because for her, she wasn't taking it seriously, but it's Carolyn making it a thing. My head really hurt from this because I was like, damn, this was all about to be Boston Rob's last episode. Carolyn could easily get Danielle out the next episode. Would have been easy work if she wanted to, because she had found out the previous, like, this is me. Okay, y'all, I'm going to be Carolyn for a second here. If I had a brain. Danielle had said my name. I confronted her in the turret. She hugged me. We're good. We're not good. The mission today is Boston Rob. The mission today is Boston Rob. The mission today is Boston Rob. They're talking about him. The mission today is to get that motherfucker out. The following day, because we're on a high from getting the traitors out, Danielle had my name in her mouth and they were still talking about it. I'm gonna go to all the girls that I know. She was talking about me. She was talking about me. She was talking about me. Okay, let's bring up the facts about Danielle. Got her ass at that table. 2 traitors out back to back. I know Alan would have came over there with a fucking white owl and a note saying, "Hey, bitch, do you want to get some new traitors in?" Sure would have. And I'd have brought some dumb like Tom up in that bitch. Oh, yes, baby. And it would have been a nice, nasty ride to the finale. Or better yet, Dylan, if you will. But I also think Dylan wouldn't take it because he's so gung-ho on being like the good guy. So I don't know. But either way, that's how I would have done it. Boston Rob would have been the main priority, numero uno. The most dangerous person there has got to go now. Carolyn didn't play this well at all. This wasn't good. Going up to everybody and doing this full and it's only for her. Nothing about that was for Danielle. And that's what we're maybe missing here in this moment, is that none of this is actually about she's talking about me. So now I gotta focus on her. This is so stupid. This is absolutely dumb. Dumb. They end up filling it up with the gunpowder. It goes kaboom. That is not a real explosion. They did not have a real explosion in front of them. That was such BS. And I also thought this was very lame. I was like, this isn't a real explosion. For one, you're telling me that happened with them basically being 100 feet away, because that's how far away they were. None of the debris hit anybody because there was a bunch of gunpowder and barrels that were there. So if it blew up from gunpowder, the explosion alone from the wood would have been like, pow, and flung that shit everywhere. People would have been injured. I'm confusion. So while this was like, oh, okay, great. At least I don't think, by all means, nobody is denying that. That's the problem. I don't know if you missed that from my last video. Not to say that you're missing things. I'm just saying no one is denying that. Danielle was a dum-dum, but Carolyn's being a bigger dum-dum, and now the dum-dums are hitting each other in the head, and that's why I am frustrated. Today is Carolyn's day to get the dum-dum award, not Danielle. Danielle did all her damage yesterday, and now she's playing the woe is me card, so that's why she's getting a break today. Carolyn getting it because she went on the full rampage, just like how Danielle did with the whole, oh, I look like a traitor. Everybody look at Carolyn now. And now Carolyn, are they talking about me? She didn't even tell them that Danielle's a traitor. She's just like, wow. And then she's waiting now to get to the round table to call her out. That is why what Carolyn did was stupid. It was like, girl, you didn't even give your case to Danielle's evil. She's talking about me. Whoa, buddy, eat some more cereal with a fork. Gag. Like, no. She can redeem herself. Carolyn can redeem herself, dude. Yeah. There's been a lot of damage done. You voted for Rob. You've been talking about Carolyn. That's why I'm like, I mean, honey, I feel Danielle's last days are next week, if you will, but that's my issue with how this went down. It's just, it was so messy, and they could have all got the one job they needed to do done, and that's to get Boston Rob out. And now it's about to go in a completely different direction. They got the 30K. No one revealed a shield. Carolyn, this was wild in the back of the car. I can't wait to get to Roundtable. Like, you're just, yeah, I'm still playing a girl's game, still playing a girl, like all that kind of, this was so obvious to me if I was in the car. Oh my goodness. Why was he eating like this? This was so strange. They come back, they always get like lunch after the challenges, and they have to put on the clothes they had at the beginning of the day for when they figured out who was what, because right after this lunch, they have to like have a conversation about, okay, what do you think is going to happen? Because they go right into voting. It's basically, they leave the hotel, they come to the house, and they do it separately. So that way it's like who is what and what is when and where is why. Then Alan comes in and talks to them and has the full bit about what they're going to do that day. They're given a moment to have a conversation before they must get into their like active wear. And then they do the challenges. They then come back to the house, or I think not the house, they go back to the hotel, or they change there. I can't remember. You're like, how do you know this? Anywho, change into their regular clothes that they were just in the same day. That's how you keep the continuity going on what episode it is and doesn't get confusing, okay? Because they keep the same clothes. And then they go into who we're going to do. And then boom, we go right into Roundtable. Boom, they go have a conversation. You see them walk up the stairs and they're about to go to sleep. Bitch, they're not in the castle. They are at a hotel, sweet pea. Or it's either Airbnbs or hotel from my understanding from what I found on my own research of this. But like, yeah. I remember someone was like, why are they the same clothes? I'm like, yeah. But Tom is weird. Like the way he eats. Did you see how he was eating? It was almost as if he wanted to eat his food so fast so he can go back into the room and like talk to. Does that make sense? Like he wanted to talk it out. I don't know. It was really weird. And Gabby comes in and he's like, oh. I'm like, why is he, bro? Shit make me uncomfortable. Kirby style. Kirby's cute. We can't put him in the same room. Rob's trying to get everybody on Wes, like how Wes went. Okay, I have a take on this, and you need to hear me because I'm trying hard not to scream in this moment. How are they able to do what they did with Wes at the round table about aggressiveness when it comes to like putting someone's name out there when Boston Rob literally does the exact same thing? Their argument for Wes was wild. But it was perpetuated even more when Wes was like, well, hey, what's up? I hated it. Wes still ended his own game. Let's just be real about it. Wes kind of messed himself over in that last hour. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh my God, you had the ball and everything. You were literally at the first down, 15 away from the goal line, like all that kind of stuff. Whoop to whoop, whoop, whoop. And like you fumbled the bag. Bad. I was like, oh brother, you just had to be like chill for a second. Like, I can't. But Rob did the whole thing with the whole West bit. And I can't. And it's like you bring up the fact that people are talking like, okay, what do you want to do, this, that, and the other? And I'm like, yes, this is all, I mean, yeah, we know this is obviously a social game. It's the problem I'm having is that everybody's take on someone comes from what they believe of who they are based off of the actions that have happened. Wes hasn't done anything in the house just yet, and Boston Rob got a traitor out. So a lot of the meek people in the house are looking at Boston Rob as some sort of fucking savior, and they're sort of running with it because it's like, there's no way he could be a traitor. He helped us get somebody out. But like the argument of a traitor getting out of the traitor is actually perfect. Like, what are we doing here today? So, like, even Wes talking to them here, what about this was so aggressive? No, Brittany, you like Boston Rob and you trust him. And when Wes was talking about him in front of you, it made you uncomfortable because it challenged your perspective of what is going on. And that's the truth. And that same shit happened in reindeer games. Same thing happened in reindeer games, Britt. Same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. Same thing. You get challenged and you go into this full-on conflation bit, and then like you make the wrong decision and go, oh, I didn't know. And it's like, yes, you did. You were given the answers. You did the same thing. And I hate it for her because she's actually intelligent. She's quite charming. I love her so much. But the way that you made this out to be this man being aggressive, this motherfucking gingerbread man sat here and talked to you as if he was giving you gumdrops and lollipops. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Weird. And Sam, I'm still looking at you side-eyed because you literally said you were coming for Rob the following week. Ivor, you presented the point the previous time. What changed this week? This is wild to me. But then it's Brittany coming up to Derek to be like, I don't know if I can trust Wes because the way Wes is talking to me. And Derek is like, Brittany, relax. We're good. So I'm sorry, is he running this or are you running it? And he didn't tell her that he was doing it on purpose because the way Brittany is asking the questions is a little like, you good? Why are you riding hard for Rob right now? As a faithful, who this person is clearly like very suspicious. And then being on Big Brother, Derek is looking at her like, why are you not like locking in with me right now? Because I obviously have figured it out. Like, just roll with me, bitch. Like, what's going on? Brittany, oh, she frustrated me this episode. I was like, damn, Britt, I like you, but you are doing not such a good job. Danielle, this is why I was proud of you this week. Derek came to you with some tea and you didn't go run and tell Rob. You and Carolyn have been letting that man make decisions for the last couple of weeks. This is the first day I was like, oh shit, Danielle may. He's not bullshitting. Aletha, come on now. The focus, hold on. Say with me, sister. The focus is Rob. They're talking about Rob. What about Wes right now? And out of all the episodes that have happened, would have made any, and I'm being very real now. Let's say I'm in this house. Wes is not reading as a traitor. Wes is an asshole in general from like the challenges. The evidence is stacked on Rob. Regardless of the whole, like, believe me, Britain, it's already stacked on one person. That's leading by emotion versus facts for me, in my personal opinion. I'm still mad about this episode. To Danielle, though, Danielle was clocking in. And to me, she's like, okay, I guess we're going to get Rob out today, which is the plan, even though the previous week, Danielle, that was your plan. And then you were like, I'm going to get Carolyn out, which I still don't understand. It was weird. I mean, to be fair, since we've been doing this back and forth about, well, since this person did that and this person did that, they are all lying to each other about who is their number one. Because Derek said Danielle's is number one, Brittany's supposed to be his number one. If we're going to do all of that, just say there's a Big Brother alliance, there's a Survivor alliance, there's an alliance within the franchises versus like number one. So like, regardless of the bullshitting part of it, Brittany came over there to Derek because she trusted him and she wanted to get the tea. And while Derek didn't give her the full truth, he still was on the right course with, we have to go with this vote. It's not Wes. I'm telling you, we need to focus on this. And he, at the end of the day, was absolutely right. Now, is he right about Brittany being a traitor? No. But Brittany is giving traitor behavior because she protected someone who he literally had the full ammunition on. And if he believes that that man is a traitor and now this woman is shielding him, what are we doing? Just saying. Chriselle, you talk way too much. You're an awful faithful. You talk way too much. Why are you telling Boston Rob that his name is floating around? You should be going into the table, not even really like giving that kind of conversation outside of, the names that you are hearing from other people. Like, I'm so mad. I'm so mad at Chriselle because I'm like, what are you doing, lady? And then it's the way she got up from how they were seating, and she was still looking like around to be like, are they gonna say something? And I'm like, are you waiting to listen? Why don't you just sit there and wait and listen then? Like, what's going on? He's playing the game correctly. Brittany's an idiot. That's the end of it, to be very honest and to be very real and frank with you. He actually is very convincing. Most of the people are convincing, if you will. It's very convincing. It's the problem is that a lot of people are playing a very scared game, and now it's getting into a personal game, i.e., Dolores voting for Tom, i.e., Carolyn voting for Danielle. All of it. My case stands with this. There ain't nothing wrong with what Rob was talking about. Brittany is playing on some other bullshit, and that's the tea. They're all supposed to trust each other. They really don't. And now it's all going to end up back and forth to I should have listened. And it's like, yeah, because the arguments were presented very well. You just played scared. Truthfully. Chriselle is a great weapon. Dylan is a great weapon for Rob is building literally all of it up. All of it up. Honestly. All of it up. Honestly, all of it up. Honestly. Yeah, I said what I said. I said what I said. They're all pretty much on the. I think Derek had the best argument this week, and he's pretty brilliant at what he was doing. He was doing a great job, Alethea. Yeah, he was doing a good job. And so was Wes up until, the whole situation happened, to be very honest with you. And I also think that Carolyn messed that up too by opening her mouth and getting away from the plot of what was going on. And, furthermore, changing the narrative of all that, Oh, of course he is. I'm not negating that as the argument here. I'm still on Derek's side with this. I don't know why we're missing that point in this moment with this back and forth that we need to have apparently right now versus me just narrating the episode and just giving an opinion. But yeah, Derek did a good job this week, honestly. And a lot of it came down to other things at the table that took place that took the air away from the focus. And because everything that went down happened the way it did, and Wes opened his mouth and said, Wes messed that up. So how is that Derek's fault? I don't think it is. I think that was Wes that kind of messed that up for himself versus Derek in the first place, because Derek's argument actually was very sound. Even with Boston Rob's argument back and forth. I think that's what we're missing here from what we're doing right now with this back and forth, is that I'm giving Derek his credit because he deserves it. Brittany did play a horrible game. And she's playing one very bad now. Very badly. And honestly, no one is playing a great game except for Boston Rob. Actually, if we just really want to do it. It's the truth. Boston Rob is playing the best game out of anybody right now. All of them. Wearing them out. He's getting close. Like he says, I like to fly close to the sun. I'm like, okay, fly close to the sun, Rob. You're clearly winning. Because Carolyn is focused on the wrong person. Danielle has now burned her game into the ground. The faithfuls are all over the place. Anytime someone calls Boston Rob's name out, they're out the door. And even when we come to the table and we actually have an argument presenting because he is getting rid of people that are focused on him, my argument is very sound here. They still vote in a different direction. So what have we missed here? Derek has got it. And Derek is still there. If Boston Rob takes out Derek in as a murder next week and no one blinks, I will be gagged. If he keeps Derek there, I'm more interested to see how that goes. Because he could flip it on Derek next. And he could take the entire narrative. Oh my God, if Boston Rob is smart. He could take the entire narrative that Bob the Drag Queen did with, it's supposed to be somebody who is new. And it wasn't Wes. And I was able to get someone out. So why wouldn't it be Derek? And you saw how Derek was trying to get me out. Oh my God. Is that what's going to happen next week? Oh no. He can do it. He could technically do it. He can technically do it. But also, Rob is in trouble because he said Wes is a traitor, and Wes wasn't a traitor. We all know this is a social game. We're watching the same show. We know it's a social game. We also know it's about trust in a sort of sense. You know, all that kind of stuff. But for me, outside of a social game, it is about when we get to this table. When we get to this table and we present the facts, and when a person lays their argument out, how do you respond? That is why I'm like frustrated, because every time Boston Rob responds, it is the same way. The same argument you had for Bob the Drag Queen with this deflection shit. You do the same. You literally go, this is why it's not me. And then you go and and on top, hold on. Ow, I'm so mad about this. Because he dropped Carolyn and Danielle's name like that. I was like, what? Like, if I was Carolyn, I'd been like, oh, Rob, tonight. Danielle didn't even say your name. Not the table. Hold on, let's talk about the conductor first. Okay. Dolores, you didn't have to do this. It's like I think Dolores just wanted to make an example out of Tom at the table so that everyone can just finally say, don't listen to him and just let him be. But I also was like, why would you vote for Tom? You burned a vote, dummy. This is stupid. But she lets Tom and oh. What a funny way to like end somebody. Like, it was so hilarious. Why don't you explain why you think it's me? And Tom tried his gosh darn its best. He did. He tried his best with all the crayons in his coloring book. You idiot. They laughed at you, girl. They giggled. Can't stand this dude. I don't need him on my television screen no more. The fact that Rob was like, can we not? Excuse me. The fact that Derek was like, can we actually focus on what's going on here? Like, this isn't going anywhere. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the same thing he did with Ariana, girl. Everyone's mad at me. I was like, no, you are there to be the fool, unfortunately, and you might be the MJ of the season. I thought it was going to be somebody else. You might be the MJ of the season. You might get to the finale with some faithfuls, and they just don't like you, Tom, and say, cut. Watch it be Chriselle and Gabby that make it to the final. That actually would be funny. Like, just for a girl. Rob's argument was wonderful. It was literally everything that Boston Rob has been doing. It was the full argument that Bob the Drag Queen had, brought it in, mentioned all the points of views that followed into him being a traitor and why it would make absolute sense that it would be. And Derek's case was closed. The problem I have with you, Derek, is that Wes, I don't know if Wes just wanted to let Derek just speak and that be it. I was like, you're supposed to tag him. It needs to be 2 at a time. You do not go for one person and then let them speak. It needed to be Derek say something, Wes speak on it, and then they needed, I hate to say it, you might need to have 3 people gang up on this man in order for this to make actual sense. It's like you have to come at him like a firing squad, because Rob was already given the heads up someone would be coming for him. And he knew at the beginning of the day, Wes was going to be his target. So, and he knew Wes was putting his name out there. So he was already building the argument. And by Derek starting it up, it didn't change anything. It didn't make a difference, because what did he do? He pulled Ivor into his full argument as a shield. Wouldn't have made more sense to get rid of Ivor because he was the one that was doing it. But that's exactly why you had his name in your pocket in the first place. Just like Bob H. Just like Wes. Because they were the people that were talking about you the previous day. No one's clocking in. Nothing about this is smart. from anybody at that table who's not receiving it. Everybody that voted for Rob, I was like, proud of them. Very intelligent people. Everybody else was on some dumb shit. Everyone played personal because Wes did some sort of I'm coming for you, which was the stupidest shit ever. Really was. Because I'm also going, Wes, if you're a faithful, how would you be coming for them? If you're faithful, what would the comeuppance be? Where would you be coming? I'm so confused. How could you go after someone if you're a faithful? Because Wes actually had a point, even though Rob was trying to like smile him off, until Gabby chimed in. And mind you, Gabby didn't even vote for Wes. Gabby voted for Rob. Why even say anything right here, Gabby? You didn't even vote for Wes. You voted for Rob. The aggressiveness of it. I was like, this is before he made the threat, mind you. Like when they were giving their arguments, he made the threat afterwards when Chriselle was like, it's so aggressive. But like Gabby is like, oh my gosh, that's just the way you're going around. And is not Rob doing the same thing? Are you fucking serious? I'm tired of Chriselle. I like her on Selling Sunset. That's it. This lady here, every time it's big and like, it's the way you were talking. I'm like, Chriselle, like he wasn't raising his voice at any point in time. And Rob is also walking around sweaty. Or you vote, I think it's so. I was like, okay, it is what it is. But then Wes, you couldn't help yourself. You just couldn't take away the challenge person that we know, the person from the real. You just couldn't. You couldn't do it, Arizona State. We went to the same college. My Sun Devil brother, you just couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. I'm coming after all of you. I was like, I knew. Like y'all had to see my reaction, man. I was like, it's over. Fuck. But then they started saying Rob's name. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe they're just not going to take that for like what it was and think he was being silly. Holy shit. Like I thought, Rob, you were this close to being out. Those burn votes saved your ass. High key. I'm not even to the votes yet because we're not even done with the roundtable. We're not. After Wes shoots himself in the foot, you think they would be done talking. Okay. Carolyn I will give Carolyn this much grace. The only reason I can see her bringing this up now is because it may be brought up later at another roundtable because Danielle had her name in her mouth. Okay. That's the only reason I can think of her doing this right now that I give her some plausibility for. It's not a lot though. It's half empty, not half full for me, unfortunately. Girl, why did this go down? It got so personal and it was like, it's not personal. No, it's quite personal. It's very, you're my friend. I voted for her. I didn't say you said you voted for her. Then Brittany's jumping in it like, well, I did come in and say that to her. I'm just like, for me, if I was Boston Rob, I'd been like, yes. Like, yes. We have now thrown a completely different argument that has nothing to do with what's going on right now. That has something to do with, you're my friend, I'm your friend, you're my friend. And now, like, we're doing this. And then Carolyn basically makes her proclamation that she's going to come for Danielle till the end of the competition. I'm just like, and Alethea, this is why I've been going hard on Carolyn. Because she made this personal and she didn't make it about the game. And that's why I was mad. Because it's like, why even bring this up now? Yes, it flagged Danielle, but it also flags you too. My friend who's supposed to be working with me. Wink, wink. It's weird. I think Rob was pissed because he, if we remember, was in that turret with them, like, we have to start working together. And even though I want to say that Rob is in it for himself, and I still think it is, I do believe that Rob wanted to work with Danielle and Carolyn for the long haul until we got to a little later in the season. And it's like, okay, well, we got to take somebody out now. If I'm going to be honest with you, I knew his point was to get Bob out from the get-go because Bob was just as loud as him, if not stronger. Them two, I feel he could have easily gotten his way with and carried them as far as he wanted to. If they were smart, I mean, they are, but if they were smart in a moment, they'd probably clock in and take him out underneath his nose and they're like, oh. But for me, it feels like Rob did initially really want to like pull them in until he didn't need them no more. And so him seeing them do this is kind of like, right now? Because his argument for Wes technically was done. Wes said, I'm coming for you. It's almost like Rob's like, I ain't gotta do nothing no more. Because they just called, he just called himself out. Like, damn, y'all. Like I was really disappointed in just a lot of this. Y'all, I had super chats earlier. Kiara, thank you so much. I'm glad you're still here. I saw you in the chat. I'm so sorry, baby. This episode got me hyped. And Aletha, please don't take me. I'm talking to you very passionately right now, and I'm realizing that I'm like, Matt, calm down. But I also feel like if we were in front of each other and we're sitting at the table talking about the show, this is how we would keep that energy. Like, what you mean? No, girl, this is how. Yes, Maddie. No, Aletha, this is how it would go. This is why I like TV shows. Get me excited. Wake me up. Wake me up. Make me want to debate. Make me want to like give the points. Make me want to change my mind. Make me find some other things to look for. I like that. This is good TV. We're getting a little migraine here, but it's great TV because this is the conversations that we're having. Peace to Mateo, thank you for the super chat. What made me mad is they never clocked that Bob, H, and Bob were gone after accusing Rob. What the WTF? Last night was messy but infuriating. Technically, Derek kind of brought that up a little bit, but not to the point he needed. He needed to go a little bit deeper, but he did sort of like layer that a tad bit. The problem was that no one was like, oh yeah, when it was like, obviously, yes. Like, very that. But this argument was stupid. I just hated this. I was just like, girl, this is just a waste of their talking points. Brittany's one eye over here is like completely on the wrong side of this table. I also was really upset at her for influencing Dylan's vote there because I swear to you, Dylan was going to put Rob's name on that board because Dylan was sitting there. You know, when Dylan gets frustrated, we've seen him turn red and he was red, bitch. I was like, oh no, he's really like, what should I do? And I was like, look at that, Brittany, like, why are you telling him what to do? Like, what are you doing here? I don't know. Listen, I know that Derek was like, yo, it's 100% him. And then Brittany's like, oh, Avi not. Rob was shitting in his pants because he technically knows that for real deal, this could have been his night. It very much could have been his night to go home. He might have been blown up right here. But Carolyn, this is the first dumb vote. Dumb vote. Personal, Danielle, you're saving this argument for later next week because you're going to come after her again. Waste of a vote. Dolores for Tom. Why? Again, it does make you look like I'm going after Tom because Tom came after me and was talking about me. But I'm like, what about voting with the group does this look like to you? Because this looks like a burn vote to me. I was shocked. I was shocked. This is how I know Danielle's going home. Because something's got to happen. Something's got to happen to save her. There's no way. Honey, the fact that Danielle voted for Rob, girl, I was like, what? I was like, oh, she's actually did a good job this week. You made the right decisions for voting. You should have talked to the people. But like, you took the shot. I have to give Danielle that credit. I was like, okay, she took a shot. I can't believe I was gagged and I thought it was going to pay off. I was proud of her though. She's probably going home, but it was like, okay, at least I can say, Danielle, that you did try to get that man out at least tonight. At least you did. You could have done it a lot better, but Wes's votes, it was by one. Excuse me, two. Because it was like a couple burn votes, and then it was like 6-5. If Sierra, who was the last vote, voted for Boston Rob, it would have been tied. Ooh. It was this close. This close. This close. This close. I wanted that tie so bad. Y'all don't even know. I wanted that tie so bad. Wes, you said everything you need to say, and I'm very glad you flicked them all off. They all deserved it, especially Brittany. They all deserved it. I love how the Chucky sticker did not pop up in time. They all deserved it. I'm glad, and they all should have felt like shit at the end of this. They were this close. And yes, they should have, because they were this close to getting a traitor out. And that's the idea of the game, right? Not just voting out people you don't like, but people that make you uncomfortable because they're aggressive. It's about getting a traitor out. This exit was fabulous. But I'm also concerned going forward for the rest of the game, because like this feels like this could have been the only time to get him. Because now there's too much in the air. There's way too much in the air now. Way too much. As much as I want Derek to really clock the fuck in, he's going to have to deal with Brittany. Brittany's a girl's girl. They're going to listen to her. She may have been wrong, but they're going to listen to wrong. And Boston Rob can use that. Danielle is very much in trouble, because even though she made the right decision tonight, man, she burned her game so bad the previous week, and it left such a mark that Carolyn is still carrying it on in this week. And now we're going into the following week, and it's not better because you just voted for Boston Rob, and now they have an argument against you solely. It's not anymore about Boston Rob getting rid of Bob the drag queen. Remember, that was when you two were supposed to work together, but you're like, no, let's not do this. But you could have, but you didn't. The moment he took out Bob the drag queen, that was when y'all supposed to connect. And it was supposed to be you two figuring this out and banding the faithfuls together to get him out. And it could have been done. Instead, and I put Danielle on this first, I blame Danielle first before we go forward. Danielle put Carolyn's name because she played a horrible game last week, and then decided to put her name up because she felt that Carolyn was working with Rob, and that by getting Carolyn out first, it'll make it easier for you to get to Rob, which makes not one lick of sense. She put out the fire. She put the fires out there. She forgot to put out the flames. She forgot to go back and put some mud over that shit, and it didn't happen. And that's why we ended up in the situation that we were in now, right? Then we get to Carolyn, who then found out that the girl was talking about her through Zac Efron's brother, to then find out through Brittany. And it has now caused the emotional hailstorm that is Carolyn. And now Carolyn is playing emotionally for the rest of the game. Her whole point of view is, now let's just get Danielle out. And then once Danielle was out, then I guess she can do what she wants to do. But like, the full bit when it comes to this scenario, hold on a second here, y'all. I don't know who is knocking on my door while I'm working here, but give me just a second. Somebody's badass kids knocking on my door, and they I'm close to cussing people out right now. Like, why y'all knocking on my door? Derek, I'm sitting over here going, what are you about to do? What is going on today? Brittany's an idiot, because she's over here mad. She's mad at Derek. You didn't tell me who was the person, this and the other, but look at what you just did. You did exactly what I knew you were going to do. You literally, you went against the vote, and look what happened. Someone went home, and it was a faithful. Because you knew Rob wasn't it, and you told Dylan not to vote in my direction, and that is very suspicious. And so now she's mad, like, how could Derek even think that of me and this and the other? But yes, Brittany, you really were playing a quiet game and should have kept that going, girl, because now you have put yourself in this position to where the person who had all the evidence in the world to get him out, you just went against him. And now it's wild. And now here we go. I think the evidence stood enough. I don't think she needed to be held that hard to go that far, even though looking at how the game went, yeah. You both can say that. I think you're both wrong, but it is what it is. To me, Brittany's not doing as well as you would like to give her credit for. And I think Brittany is also going to be put up there in a sense. And I don't think she'll be winning any arguments unless she uses the women's vote to sway the opinions of that. But Brittany will definitely be carrying Boston Rob to the finale, as well as Dylan. My emphasis in my point of view today is not the long game and whoever wins wins. My whole emphasis on the way I'm watching the show currently right now is get Boston Rob out. The end. And then when he's out, I can then actually talk about this game on a whole nother level. But as of right now, Boston Rob has won the game. I don't see it any other way. He's got him. He got him. How are they gonna I don't see how they get out. I'm watching this. I don't know how y'all gonna do this. Kershell pisses me off. It's like here's the thing. They all seem like they want to do the right thing and everyone wants to make the right choice, but my frustration comes from everybody playing this emotional sort of like, you talk to me and you talk to me this way and you talk to me that. And it's like, look at the facts at what happened at the table when it comes to the arguments about who could be a traitor and why, not about someone's like energy. They just had this argument for Nikki last week. Nikki, your energy was different, so you got to be a traitor. Wes, you have an attitude, or that you talk aggressively, so you must be a traitor. That was the beginning argument. Now, when he then said what he said, it's like, okay, well, I mean, now we've like actually got something here. You know what I mean? But initially, that was their whole turnaround, is the way you speak. I mean, I think it's crazy that even Sierra said that to Nikki, because Derek made the argument to Sierra that she swore, so she must be like a traitor, because that's like a tell in like being a police officer, which is really funny to think about because that's also playing into someone's emotions too. So then Sierra using the emotional card on Nikki, and then now they using the emotional card on Wes. Are we not seeing a pattern here? The faithfuls are voting off of emotion and not on logic. I mean, CT and Trishelle weren't great TV either, and they won. So I don't know if that makes a difference here. I need them to lock into logic for just a second, because they play into too much emotion for me, and it's not an even balance, and my Libra is kicking my ass right now. Good luck to everybody on the show, to be honest. My money's on Boston Rob, but if they can somehow pull it together, if they can somehow do it, it can happen. But I gotta say, if my predictions for next week are correct, I'm gonna giggle. I totally believe Danielle is gone next week. I totally believe Danielle is gone next week. I think Rob will make it far if that happens. The only way that they can play this into a different direction is if they bring another traitor in and they start to do a flip-flop situation or whatever the case may be. But, you know, your view and my view of this is different, because to me, Carolyn looks batshit crazy now after how she did at the table with the "you're supposed to be my friend and you call me out. We've been working together," and this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden we find out Danielle's a traitor. I'm going to be like, just because she acts like she's loopy isn't like a full force. Like, that's not a good enough argument here. It's really not. Like, it's not. I'm afraid it isn't. They added some dude from another season that did that so much or whatever. And Carolyn's first argument at the table is over emotion. Please. That's wild. I need if Danielle and Carolyn just finally just said, let's sit and talk real quick, and then like gag Rob at the table. Now that would be something. Like, make Rob think that y'all are feuding, and then in the background actually do the work and then get him out. Now that would be, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But like, Carolyn is siding with Boston Rob to get Danielle out. And it's clear because she already has a vendetta against Danielle. Danielle's now voted for Boston Rob. It's over for her. It's over. That's it. Like, it would take a miracle to save Danielle in this full competition. Good luck to you, girl. I hate what that round table is going to look like for you next week. I hate it for you. What are you going to do? Please, if Danielle starts crying at that round table, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. Because she has more sus on her than any of them. Even I would even say Boston Rob, only because Boston Rob continues to talk his way out of these moments. But like the fact that Sierra said at the beginning of the day, Danielle, when she's crying, I just don't believe it. I was like, it's over for you, girl. Because they're going to go in next week and it's going to be one person saying your name. And then here comes Gabby. You know what, Danielle? It is weird. And it's almost like when Gabby says something or you hear one person's vocal fry, it's over. I don't know. I really don't want her to, as much as y'all, I'm not going to say y'all, I should say the people that just don't like Danielle. I don't want Danielle to go because for me, I don't know. I like Danielle, even though she just plays a horrible game. I was proud of her this week, but I just wanted her to get hurt. I was like, I'm praying our girl gets her little redemption. And I just need her. I wanted her and Carolyn to do it together. And that's why I'm mad. Because I wanted them both to really operate this game as the two people who were there, no one's looking at. You know what I mean? That's why I get frustrated with Danielle's game and why I'm mad at like Carolyn. Ooh, my brain dropped out. If I were them, I would pull Gabby in. Actually, okay, hold on. If I want a traitor to win, I want Carolyn to win. If I want a faithful to win, probably either who's left? Gabby winning would be the T. Gabby winning would be the T, honey. It would be the T. No, I like Gabby. I don't like Dylan. Dylan can rot. But if Dylan won, I would have to give it to him because he was on Bob's ass from the go before even Rob stepped in. And he played a safe game throughout. Can't stand that man. Because he's also a smug bastard. But like, I give him respect for it. But I like Gabby only because she did play a very low game and she played with the faithful. And at times when she needed to speak, she did have a little resonance. She also voted for Rob today. And I was like, oh, that's my bitch. I'd give Derek right now too. But Derek is going to have to do some more work for me, to be honest, if I'm going to be real with you about who I want to win. But Chanel, like Chriselle, the only reason I don't want Chriselle to win is because the way Chriselle goes about the game is just, it's like so scary to me. And then like, whoa, man, like she'll say something like, whoa. It's like I don't ride with that. Like at least Gabby took like a read. Remember when like someone came for her? I forget who it was that voted for her, but she like took it like, oh, okay. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm still invested into the show. It's so fucking entertaining. I love that we get passionate about it. I love that I'm like getting emotional talking about this. Like, you're wrong. How could you think that? But wait a minute. What about this? It lets us dive into how would we, when would we, why would we, should we, and how can we? You know what I mean? And that's shows I like. Make me do the questions, the when, what, where, and why, how, and then some. That's good TV. I need Sierra to dial in. I mean, her favorite gay isn't there anymore. All the gays were taken out, by the way, except for the royal. Mm-hmm. Oh, Aletha, listen, I picked Rob because Rob would be better to physically cuddle with versus Derek. See, I'm not gonna lay with nobody that let me stop. I don't eat pigs. I don't eat swine. I mean, oh my god. But no, if I was playing this game, I would keep Rob in it and work with him if I was a traitor, but my plan of action would take place later to get him out. It would be done perfectly because the people who would be left I know would be my numbers, and he'd have no argument around it. But we would play smart. You got to ride the wave until you take them out. Like, you don't just jump. You got to ride the wave a little bit. You got to sort of wink and nudge into your own sort of opinions. Like, yes, he came for you, but can we get to someone who said both of our names? There's a way to cuddle and work Rob, if you will. There's a way to do it, but they're not doing it. And everyone's being too submissive for me. And that's when I'm like, it gets frustrating watching this. They're being too submissive in this show. I know all about being submissive, darling, but I'm just saying they're being too submissive this show. And when they get cracking, that's when I'm like, yes, pop off. And this roundtable was a pop off for me. So I will give this episode some love. Very successful entertainment wise. Very good episode, Traitors. Not the results I wanted, but man, what a good ride. Shout out to Wes, though. You tried, Bubby. You did. You and Derek very much tried. Carolyn and Danielle, I appreciate the nonsense of it all. Rob, you're doing the do. Everybody else there, make some noise. It is a show. And we it's reality TV. And at the end of the day, we'll get another cast of people. We'll do this all over again next year. But I just, it's a lot to take in. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Become part of this Rant Pack family. I do appreciate every single one of you for being here today and having this conversation about the Traitors. It's on Peacock. Make sure you tune into that. It comes out Thursdays, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And I do reactions and post it on my Patreon for as low as $1 a month. And of course, come here on Fridays and talk about the show with you to nauseam. Had a good time with you today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. For those of us that we again, debates and conversations, nothing to be taken personal. Apologies if it got a little too serial at any point in time. Was never meant to be. Just again, we're here for fun debates, have a great time, whether we agree or not, all that kind of stuff. Never questioning anybody's intelligence. We're all good people. Well, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I don't know who's watching, but I'm hoping we're all good people on this earth. Okay, so listen. Hit the thumbs up button, get in the comment section, talk about your point of views, where you feel things could have happened, who you're rooting for, gameplay wise. I want to hear some strategies in the comment section because that's what this show is all about. Gimme. If you did want to drop it to people in my jar, please and thank you. PayPal.me/MattyRants, Cash App @MattyRants, and Venmo Again, I will see you tomorrow for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17. If you're on my Patreon, I will have that reaction posted to you tomorrow in the morning. I'm a little bit sleep deprived and insomnia bit this week. So my sleep schedule is off and I low-key may take a nap right after this video. I'm fucking tired, bro. So when I wake up in the morning, I will have that video posted for you, and then I will have the reaction to go as well. I may even post it tonight because I may just wake up in the middle of the night at 12 o'clock in the morning and be like, I want to watch Drag Race. And I've done that before. So just be on the lookout for it. I will have it posted. And again, Sunday's the panel. Will C. Diggy show up? As he is for the last 2 weeks been like, I'm coming, and then been like, I'm somewhere. I'm coming. I'm somewhere. I'm like, okay. Okay. God bless you all. Please take care of yourselves. Give yourselves a big hug for me. Again, I want to see you tomorrow. So make sure you are loving yourselves more than anybody else. Okay. I will catch you for the next one. God bless. It's and I love this. Real quick, because they're told not to. They're told not to. It's in the contract and all that kind of stuff. And I do, from my understanding, in situations like that, they will stop filming and then be like, we have to redo that whole part. I'm not even playing. Or if something happens like that, they'll have to play it out, and then that person will get removed the next day, and it will be like a producer prompted versus like they actually wanted to get them out. It's like, no, they messed it up. They weren't supposed to do that. Go ahead and send them home. From my understanding, they stopped though, and then like, you can't say that. You need to reword that again. Redo. I know they've had moments like that with Drag Race where they had to stop something and then redo the whole scene because it was like, ooh, can't say that. Can't do that. Can't edit that out either. We have to redo that because we didn't get what we wanted from the moment. It's gonna be disjointed. So let's redo that again. It's not scripted, but again, it's a show and they have to present like a point of view. So if it goes off track, it's like, oh, we gotta redo this again. Quickly, my thoughts on this because I do need to go. It's one of the best reunions we've ever had. Mary's redemption arc is kind of amazing, if you will. Whitney gives Libras a bad name, high key. I do like Whitney. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't want that Britney lady to come back. I think that's the best I have for it. I don't want that Britney lady to come back. Why is she there? That's my point. I think they need the rest of the cast. Absolutely keep everybody. Bronwyn included in her lying ass, but like, don't bring Britney back. But no, I'm enjoying the reunion. It was a really good season. They honestly did the do for Salt Lake City, and I'm currently watching Married to Medicine right now. I did not like the Housewives of Atlanta trailer. I thought that was weak. And I thought it was weird what they're doing to Kenya because I'm like, she's going to be a main storyline for the first half of the season. So what are we doing here? What else do I want to say? I'm watching Beverly Hills off and on. It's okay right now. I'm all right with it. Yeah. I think that's all I have for Housewives stuff. But yeah, I gotta go. I love y'all down. You mean the world to me, and I will see you tomorrow for Drag Race. Take care of yourselves, and I remember I used to say poos poos at the end of these videos, but no, I love y'all. I'll see you next time. And yeah, watch Traitors. It's a good show. It's a great show. Watch it. Watch it.
Listen. Yeah.